This is Castle Life Academy. So today we'll be looking at mathematics. And the topic we'll be looking at is profit and loss. We'll be looking at profit and loss. So, when we talk about profit and loss, we know that we are making reference to buying and selling or other related services. Now, when someone or when a merchant or a businessman or a businesswoman buys goods to sell, the primary aim or the primary purpose of buying that goods to sell is to make what is called profit. So if you don't call it profit, you call it what? Gain. You call it gain. So if you don't call it profit, you call it gain. So that is the main aim of buying and selling. But in some cases, you see that this aim might not be achieved. And in such case, the businessman or woman will incur what is called loss. But we know that this loss will happen or will occur whenever the cost price is bigger than your selling price. So now we will go into this topic proper. So we know that selling price minus cost price will give us profit or gain. Will give us profit or gain. And we know that cost price minus selling price will give us loss. Loss will give us loss. Also, you should note that when selling price, let's call this selling price, is greater than cost price, we have profit or loss. And when cost price is greater than selling price, we have profit or gain. When cost price is greater than selling price, we have what is called loss. Loss. So having made these few establishments, we will now look at one or two examples on this. Okay, so let's take this example. Number one, we are told that a trader bought some goods at 3,000 naira and sold them for 3,200 naira. Find the gain or loss made. Okay, so we are asked to find the gain or loss made. How can we find the gain or loss made? First of all, we know that when selling price is greater than the cost price. When we say cost price, what do I mean? Cost price, that is the amount of money that the businessman or woman bought the goods. The actual amount of money that businessman or the businesswoman bought the goods. Why the selling price? After buying those goods, the amount they sold them, that is what is called selling price. So when the money or the amount of the cost price is greater than that of the selling price, I mean, a trader bought some goods at this, so the cost price is 3,000 naira, and sold them for 3,200 naira. So the selling price is 3,200 naira, and we can see that the selling price is greater than the cost price. So automatically, so we have solution. So automatically, selling price is greater than cost price. So we are having what is called gain. So there is no loss here. So what do? We know that gain will be equals to selling price minus cost price. So that gain will now be selling price 3,200 naira minus 3,000 naira. So we bring down our naira. So the amount is what? 200 naira. So he actually made a gain of what? 200 naira. So the gain made is 200 naira. Okay, so let's look at another question on that. Let's look at another question on that. It says goods which cost 4,500 naira we are later sold for 3,960 naira. That we should find the profit or loss made. That we should find the profit or loss made. So first of all, we identify our cost price and our selling price. So our cost price is this 4,500. Our selling price is 3,960. So you can see that the cost price is greater than the selling price. Automatically, this person incurred what? Loss. So we have that if cost price is greater than selling price, that we have loss. So we are looking for loss, and loss is equals to cost price minus selling price. So loss is equal to cost price is 4,500 minus 3,960. So here we have 0. So we borrow 1, add here 10. 10 minus 6 will give us 4. 4 is remaining here. So we borrow 1 from here, add to that, it becomes 14. 14 minus 9 will give us 5. So we now have 540 naira. 540 naira is now the loss. So this is the money, or the amount of money that this trader loses. This trader lost 540 naira. This trader lost 540 naira. So we now have another. A retailer bought 2 dozen eggs at 96 naira per dozen. 2 of the eggs were broken, and she sold the rest at 10 naira each. That we should find profit or loss made. Okay, so here we have that the retailer bought 2 dozen eggs at this 96 naira per dozen. Per means what? For one. Okay, so now we can read this thing as a retailer bought 2 dozen eggs at 96 naira for 1 dozen. 2 of the eggs were broken, and she sold the rest at 10 naira for 1. And she sold the rest at 10 naira for 1. Okay. First of all, let's determine the cost price and the selling price. Let's determine the cost price and the selling price. So the cost price here will be that she bought 2 dozen eggs at 96 naira for 1 dozen. So which means that for per dozen, which is for 1 dozen, and how many dozen does she buy? 2. So, and she paid 96 naira for 1 dozen. So meaning that for 2 dozens, she will pay, will now be 96 naira times 2, which is 2 times 6 is 12. We write 2, carry 1. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. It's 19. So we have 192 naira. So 192 naira is the total money she paid for the 2 dozen. 192 naira is the total money she paid for the 2 dozens. So let's move over to the selling price. So we are told that 2 of the eggs were broken. Okay, so 2 of the eggs were broken, and she sold the rest at what? 10 naira each. So she sold the rest at 10 naira each. What does that mean? First of all, we know that 1 dozen is what? 12. So 2 dozen is how many? 24. So if 2 dozen is 24 and 2 eggs were broken, it now means that the remaining number of eggs there is what? 22. Okay, so we now have that 2 eggs were broken, and okay, let's still use this. So selling price will now have that 24, which is total number of the dozen, minus 2 eggs that were broken. We are left with how many eggs now? 22 eggs. And we are told that she sold these 22 eggs, that is the rest, which is these 22 eggs, at 10 naira for 1. So it means that the total will now be times 10 naira, which is, we just add 0 to the back of this, it now becomes 220 naira. So from this, we could see that this retailer, that she made what? Profit, because the selling price is greater than the cost price. So we now have that profit or gain is equal to selling price minus cost price, which is the selling price is 220 naira and the cost price is 192 naira. So here we borrow 1, add here becomes 2. We are left with 1 there, so we borrow 1 from these 2. Add there becomes 11. 11 minus 9 will give us 2. So here is 0. So we neglect that. So we now have 28 naira. So automatically she made the profit of 28 naira. She made a profit of 28 naira. So this is how to solve profit and loss. This is how to solve profit and loss.